Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tips back with another interview. This time with a content creator that I'm sure a lot of you guys know very well. He's been in the YouTube scene for a long time, making some high quality PvP montages for a long time. And the specific memory, the specific thing that I think of when I think of Bajheera is his Girthalak PvP montages back during Cataclysm. That stuff was incredible, really, really fun to watch, and he made you want to play a warrior at a high level. But the thing that I really wanted to talk to Bajheera about, and you guys will see more of it in the interview, is his perspective on Classic WoW. Now, a lot of you guys might not know this. Bajheera actually started World of Warcraft a little bit later than most of the content creators I've already interviewed. He started towards the end of Wrath of the Lich King and more so during early Cataclysm. So his perspective, I thought, would be very, very fresh, very exciting to hear. And you'll see just what he thinks about Classic in this interview. I don't want to spoil anything, guys, but take a seat, relax, and enjoy. Jackson's a great guy, and I hope you enjoy. Take care. If I'm not mistaken, I think you're the first person that I've watched that actually did commentary over their PvP montages, and obviously you've grown a long way since then. How's life changed for you over these past few years?
Just dramatically in every way. I think that what's ended up happening is that we've stayed on the path that I wanted to be on. Things look fairly similar, right? I get to do games, incorporated games. You know, my real life has continued to expand and grow, but I mean, those Cata days, it's the same story. I wish I could just go back in time and just give myself the biggest high five for like, dude, way to go getting this started, because you have no idea like how cool things are going to get if you just keep on doing what you're passionate about, you know, infusing your energy, infusing your love into your content, and being true to yourself. I mean, things are going to go real well for you, buddy. So high five and keep it up. That's kind of where we're at now. You know, got the woman of my dreams. I get to, you know, play video games that I love every day and share it with people who want to watch. I get to go after other things that are non-video game related that I'm passionate about, like, you know, bodybuilding, just, you know, earn my natural pro status in the Muscle Mania Federation. So there's a whole lot of things going on that are really, really good. And it's hard to fully express my gratitude, but I try to have my work and effort be an example of that. And, you know, the same thing, you know, it's just, you gotta, if you get this lucky, there's no excuse but to work really, really hard to try to make the most of it, you know?
No, absolutely. And you've put in a lot of work over the years. I remember following you back in the day and just seeing you develop over time, transition from YouTube to Twitch, and like you said, transcending even the bounds of the games industry. It's a very inspiring story. And you mentioned your pro card recently. Talk to me about your bodybuilding passion a little bit. How did it all start? Where did this come from?
All right, so I feel like where it really starts is like right from the beginning. We have these old home videos of my dad coming home from work and plopping down on the living room floor and doing push-ups with his like infant son. I'd be like, I could do 100 push-ups. I'd be laying on my stomach and I'd pick my butt up and then I'd push my upper body up after. And I'm like, all right, that's not exactly how you do a push-up, but it's worth the effort.
Yeah.
Right. And so that sort of push-up, you know, system continued until I was like, you know, 11 or 12. And that was about the time where I really started to be able to watch some Dragon Ball Z. And we didn't have cable growing up, but my parents would be really nice and they would get up early and tape it for me on like normal TV. But this is probably like after the Dragon Ball Z on like Cartoon Network had progressed, but we were like still back in the original, like the Frieza saga, building into that. And so I got pretty into Dragon Ball Z when I was pretty young, and I was like, Dad, I'm pretty sure that at some point in my life, I'm going to have to save the world. And I probably should start training now. And he's like, you little psycho. Well, how about you keep doing your push-ups? And if you stick to that over the summer or whatever, I'll start taking you to the gym. And so I did that. I started doing like, you know, I'm so weird. I would just drop down like in the middle, like playing with my friends, hanging out, doing whatever. Like, oh, push-ups, hit like 20 push-ups, and then just go on with my day. And I'd keep track of how many I did. And there would be some days at the end of the day where I hadn't done enough push-ups, and I'd be doing push-ups like up in my room. My dad's like, go to sleep. Like, quit doing push-ups. So he kind of got the idea of what kind of kid he was dealing with. And if he took me to the gym, I'd behave myself basically. And so he did. He started taking me to the gym when I was 12. And so going to the gym has always been, since that time, a big anchor for me in terms of how I decide to spend my energy, in terms of how I decide to kind of like, you know, maintain balance in my life, emotionally, physically, you know, mentally, all of that. And so it's always been there. And so in grade school, I played sports. In high school and college, I ran distance. I was a competitive distance runner.
Ooh.
And then once that career was over, once I was done with distance running, I said, well, this weight training thing has always been there.
Mhm.
And throughout my distance running career, being a bigger guy was actually a disadvantage. So I was always kind of fighting my natural body style because my body likes to gain weight to like muscle mass. And I was like, it's funny because I look back, I was telling Jenny, I was like, for my competition, I weighed 180 pounds.
Mhm.
And when I was in high school as a distance runner, like state caliber, top 20 in the state, I weighed 185. It's like I was bigger then than I am now.
That's crazy.
In terms of raw weight. I mean, obviously it was a different training style, but that just gives you an idea. I had like 50 pounds on these guys, which is an advantage in the mile. When people wanted to try to pass me on the outside, there's no way you're going to pass me in the mile because I can run just as fast as you, and I'm also just as big as the whole lane. So that helped. But ultimately, I feel like once I finished the distance running thing, I was like, well, let's just lift weights. Let's just have fun doing that. Let's just go ahead and embrace what I've kind of been fighting for a while and just lift weights, have fun, gain muscle. And I did that for a few years just to kind of get the feel for that and enjoy being stronger, enjoy, growing up. And when you're growing from, 18 into your 20s, it's a good time to be lifting some weights. You got some juices flowing. So you make some gains doing that. And then when I was, I guess, like early 20s, I was like, you know what? I feel like we've been doing this training thing for a while, and I still had that sort of competitive edge in me. I was like, let's just compete at bodybuilding if that's what I like to do so much. So I sort of started to shift my idea from just training to have fun to actually kind of being a little bit more regimented with my training. And then what really changed things was the diet. So that's why I talk about diet so much in my stream, is because once you started getting more food in, then you start making some gains.
Mhm.
And then once you start dieting down a little bit, you start trimming off that body fat, retaining that muscle. And so I sort of started to learn that basic idea. And I did a few, like, I would call them like practice diets before that. And then I was preparing to compete, I think in 2014 or something. We moved to California, so that got delayed until like 2015. That was my first ever competition season.
Mhm.
And so after a really fun 2015, life took hold, and we took a break from the competitive stage, allowed me to make some gains. But those are also the 3 years that I ended up, participating in the WoW esports broadcast into BlizzCon and stuff like that. So that was 3 years of that, and we took a break from that this year to pursue starting a family, which was awesome, and everything is going well with that. But it also allowed me to do bodybuilding. So that leads us to another successful and really fun season here. So basically the story is lifting has been part of my life pretty much the whole time. It's just what form does that training take? And right now it's taking professional natural bodybuilding. So far so good.
That's incredible. And it's so inspiring because, like, as you said, like, when you're younger, it might be a little bit easier. You're part of sports, you're part of programs, you got people around you pushing and motivating you. But as you get older, as some people have said to me, as you get older, things start to slow down a little bit. How do you like find the motivation, like, to go up every single day, go to the gym? You do the morning streams. I see you do some streams at night sometimes, depending on competition time.
Yeah.
What keeps you going?
So this is a question that comes up a lot on the stream, is the motivation discussion, right?
Mhm.
And we had a really fun talk about this. If you don't mind me giving a little shout out to the bodybuilding.com podcast that we did. This is a really, really important question that needs, to be addressed. And so for me, the first thing is I love what I do. So it's just love of the game. I love the streaming. Obviously, training has been a big part of my life. I love it. But there's also like the fact that, like, I like who I am a lot better when I get a workout in for the day. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm a pretty happy guy as long as I get to lift some weights. If I don't get to lift the weights, I mean, there's gonna be some feelings that have not been expressed in the appropriate environment that may need to be expressed other ways. So we got to get that gym in to make sure I'm a nice guy. So that helps. So there's the full experience and the full habit that I've developed over my entire life that we just talked about. But there's also the factor that motivation is kind of a topic that I generally try to steer people away from, this idea that you always have to feel like it in order to get things done that need to be done.
Mhm.
So when you establish goals, there's a certain amount of work that just needs to be done from where you are to where you want to be. And the more willing you are to step up and do the work every day required to meet that long-term goal, the better off this is going to go for you. So the goal setting is one thing. It puts a target in front of you that you can work towards every day, and you can sort of see how that work every day matters. And that's going to be more of a situation of discipline over motivation. And if you are able to string together consistent days of effort and activation of your discipline and effective action, that's going to lead to some momentum. Because once you get rolling, you're like, okay, I did it yesterday. I can do it again today. I did it last week. I can do it again today. We have a lot of days in a row where I've really been able to knock this out, and it feels good. So the better you are at practicing your discipline on the regular, actually, the more easy I think practicing that discipline can be. So I think it's definitely more of an issue of discipline and momentum over always feeling like it, because there are days where I mean, even if I'm pursuing something that I love to do in the gym, I'm training, I know I have a goal, everything's great, that diet is kicking my butt. I do not feel like going to the gym today. But at the same time, I know that I will feel better having done what I need to do, and I will be more close to the goal that I want, because, you know, like in the situation of like cheat meals, right? Like that cheat meal is not going to feel anywhere as good as holding up that number one, you know, first place trophy on stage when I need to compete, right? Skipping this workout is not going to make me feel anywhere close to as good as earning that natural pro status is going to make me feel. So there's also the long-term view, right? And that's kind of associated with the goal setting. So there's a lot of different things, but I generally kind of lean away from this motivation as being required. It's nice to feel like it, but it's not required.
Absolutely. And it's very,
get it done.
Exactly. It's very interesting. You got to just plow through those obstacles and like you said, just set the goals and keep following them. Bajheera's goals, like you said, you've won some very prestigious trophies over the past year.
Lucky guy.
Absolutely, and it's a lot of that hard work, like we talked about before. What are some of the next goals? What are some of the next trophies when it comes to bodybuilding? Are we going to see you grace the stage of the Olympia? You know, lightweight, baby. You know, what's going on with you in that regard?
In all reality, as a natural bodybuilder, probably not be competing at the Mr. Olympia competition. But I don't know. We have competed and been successful at the amateur level, culminating in my win at the Musclemania California Championship, which earned me that pro status. And then in order to lock in that pro status, I went on stage and competed in the World Championships in Vegas. But we can definitely get a lot better. And that's the main thing. Is it's not, I mean, like, getting certain placement and competing at certain shows is awesome, and it's definitely rewarding in its own right. But me being better is kind of what this is all about. And I think what's fun about doing the competitions is it gives you like a target to say, I want to be in my absolute best shape that I can be in on this day, at this moment, on this stage, in this event. And it kind of allows you to, like when you're dieting, like if you're not dieting for any particular reason, it's a lot more difficult. But if you have a time and you have this sort of this visualization of it's like, I'm actually working towards this reality that I want, and every little bit of effort that I put into this is sort of filling out this reality. And that is kind of what allows me to put in that kind of effort. So the goal is just overall getting better. But what helps is setting those particular moments. That's why I thought I like the competition stuff. It's just kind of like when you're competing at like distance running, right? It's like, I want to be my very best for this particular race, right? And so you kind of have like a training program that leads into it. So ultimately, you know, I just want to get better, but I think that, you know, placing better and better on the world stage is, I guess, the next goal. But yeah, just overall progression is kind of what I'm after.
Absolutely. And we wish you luck moving forward into the future. You're off to a great start, man, representing WoW and gaming as a whole very, very well.
That's right.
Absolutely. But as we look to the future, especially nowadays, we can't help but look to the past as well. And of course, I'm referring to Classic WoW.
Wouldn't be the Tips Out podcast if we weren't talking about Classic, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Let's get all this gain silliness out of the way. Yeah, great. You're doing great with your lifting, great with your family. Let's talk about some good old World of Warcraft. All right.
There you go, dude. There you go. To my knowledge, you hadn't played Classic prior to the demo, but I know you put out a couple of really good videos of your experience documenting that. What was it like for you? I mean, did you enjoy it? Was it fun?
Yeah, it was definitely a different experience. I mean, I have like watched a lot of like Classic videos, both like just throughout time, even before I even played WoW. I was watching the Swifties videos, watching Pat PvP, Mayday, Lane Time, you know, all this. I have a rich history of a warrior spirit that lives on inside me.
Hell yeah, brother.
And so I'm familiar with Classic to an extent, but actually being able to play it and sort of feel the change of pace and understand, like, you know, it was just a demo, but even just like with the stance dancing, it's like, oh, this is going to require a little bit of a different key binding setup. You know, this is going to require a little bit of practice for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be really fun. I think it's going to be a way different pace of game. And I think it's also going to put importance on things, shift the balance of importance to more of a community focus. It's going to be a little bit more of a grind, which is I don't mind the grind. So
Yeah.
I mean, as you can tell, I'm a big fan of putting a lot of work in over a long period of time for a particularly awesome goal. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun, both in the leveling process, just for the experience of that. But of course, I'm going to be playing a warrior. It's going to be here. It's tough. So we're gonna be grinding that out, and then at that point, once you get max level, then's the fun time. You get to get that gear going, and then that's when the strength really starts to just skyrocket. And that's actually something I kind of miss from current WoW, because I feel like when I get a new piece, it's exciting. It changes my item level, but I don't really feel that much more powerful in PvP. That's definitely not the case in Classic, from what I understand. So you get a new weapon, you're gonna start whomping on people, and I'm excited for that.
Absolutely, dude. Hit level 30, get that whirlwind axe. Hit level
Oh
60,
man, yeah,
get
that's
that
right. You have
Bodybuilder's
to like
edge.
do the you have to do like the quests for the stances and stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, cool.
It's fun, man. It's great, and like you said, it's very different. It's a different
Yeah.
pace, and PvP is a little bit different as well. Did
Right.
you try any dueling during the demo at all? What'd you think of it?
Yeah, I did.
Little
It was
different,
actually
right?
it was really fun, but it was really good too. I had a lot of fun with it though. It was cool. Not being able to charge in combat is definitely a difference. So you had to kind of like play that max range game with some people and see if you could drop combat and bait them but into eating. But what's going to be interesting is that people are going to be a lot better at the game now, I feel like, than they were back in Classic. So just like small things, like I've never seen anyone ever in a video use a throwing weapon to stop a warrior from getting out of combat.
Yeah.
Everybody did that in the beta or the demo. So I mean, already like it's gonna be different, I think, but it's gonna be a lot of fun still.
No, absolutely, and that's part of the excitement. Like I can't wait to see like guys like you, high end PvPers, go in with this like different min max mentality and all this experience. I mean, as great as the old school PvP videos were, I can't even imagine what the kind of stuff we're going to see when it actually comes out.
Yeah, I guarantee I'm gonna get wrecked for a while, but you're gonna have to wait on those highlight montage. I'm gonna get smacked for a bit, but I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I know because I think that there's gonna be some like all kinds of cool stuff that people have probably to learn from the past, but also innovate, which should be really cool.
Absolutely, absolutely. After the demo, what would you say was like your most favorite part? What's the thing you're really looking forward to? Do you have like any specific goal? Like you said, get max level, get geared up. Is there one thing about Classic that you're really looking to just accomplish?
Now this is really goofy, but like I love the duels. It was all really fun. Kind of leveling up your different skills and like professions. I think probably mean a little bit more. Ways of sustaining your own character, like making sure first aid is up to date, making sure cooking is up to date. All that is going to be really fun. Obviously, PvP is something I'm looking forward to. But what I thought was so neat was actually just randomly grouping up with people for quests, because you can do it on your own, but it's definitely much faster if you group up. And then what was so like fun, I think, was just grouping up and going and killing the elites in front of dead mines, like not the actual dungeon, but like going and killing like the skeletons and stuff. And it was a really neat feeling of just kind of having like a pop-up group saying, hey, we need to go do these elites before a dungeon. Like there's never a situation in live where that really happens, right? Where you just like you could just go run and just kill all those elites by yourself, even if they're at level or probably even above your level. So I think that sort of the encouragement to group up with people and to interact with other players is going to be one of those things I think is the most exciting. Just finding new friends to play with and having that, like, each little thing that you do in Classic, because it is a little bit slower, because it's a little bit more difficult, feels like an adventure. So you go out and do like 2 quests. Takes you a long time to get there. Takes you a long time to kill these mobs. Takes you a long time to come back. Your bags are full, but you get back and you're like, "Whew, that was an adventure." And then you get like 1 green item at the end of the quest line. You're like, "Oh, it's sick! It's such an upgrade," and it actually makes your character feel more powerful.
Yeah.
Once again, I think it's going to be a slower pace, and it's probably going to be a grind. It might not apply to, or might not appeal to everybody, but I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the adventures, like you said, it's the cornerstone of the Classic experience.
Yeah.
It's something that feels like has been a little bit of lost to time because of all the, I guess, convenient ways
Right.
to group up nowadays. But now that you've seen it, now that you've had a taste of it, Classic in some people's eyes was not perfect. Is there anything that you're kind of looking back towards the modern game now and thinking to yourself, God, I'm glad they put that in there? Is there something where you're like really appreciative of now?
Probably as I play more, I'm gonna be like, oh, this is freaking annoying. Like, but I like really when I play games, I kind of just try to take it for what it is and love it for what it is.
Yeah.
So there are probably gonna be moments where I'm like, man, do I really have to walk to Arathi Basin to queue for AB or whatever?
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. Is that a thing? Like, do you have to do that? Like, maybe. I don't know. Do they have queues for that back in the day? Like, I don't know.
So originally, when the battleground system was released, you actually had to go to the portal to queue up.
Yeah.
Whether or not they'll keep it that way in Classic, because it was changed during Vanilla to allow you to queue from cities.
Okay.
Whether or not they'll allow you to do it that way is still unknown. But yeah.
Yeah, there's probably just going to be things like that
Mhm.
that, the modern conveniences, it's like, okay, this is actually really nice. I don't have to, go into trade chat to form a group or something like that, general chat to form a group. But at the same time, like that's what we wanted. This is what we asked for.
Yeah.
And I think it needs to be a distinct experience. It needs to have some very clear differences from this sort of streamlined modern WoW that we play. And I enjoy the streamlined modern WoW. I like to be able to sit in arena or sit in a city and queue arena all day. Like that's fun. Sit in a city, do BGs all day. If I want to, that's great. But I like that we're gonna have the option to have a different experience. That's a little bit, slower pace, takes more effort, but has a different kind of reward at the end of it. So there's probably gonna be moments where I'm like, man, this is a pain in my butt. But at the same time, you're gonna be saying that with a smile, probably. I hope ultimately, in a deep inward smile.
Exactly.
where it's actually exactly awesome. I think that's I don't I don't think that I'm gonna be too upset with Classic, for not having some of the modern convenience. I think it'll be fun.
Absolutely. And it kind of goes back to bodybuilding, right? When you're in the gym, sometimes you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't want to do this right now and everything, but it pays
Yeah.
off in the long run.
That's right. Even if like some of it's like artificial, like they're running for 10 minutes to get to the quest zone, maybe artificially inflating your feeling of how epic this quest was. But whatever, it's a video game. Have fun.
Exactly.
It'll be fine. Auto run and talk to chat. It'll be fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now that you've seen Classic again, I'm sure you're going through a lot of plans in your mind. Okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. Alliance or Horde, PvE or PvP server. I know a lot of streamers have been telling me that they're kind of scared of rolling on a PvP server because of just the constant ganking, no sharding off, stuff like that. What do you think? PvP, PvE, Alliance, Horde?
Yeah, so I would love to play Alliance, but I think that what I want the most, and we've mentioned this before, is this community thing. And I think that I've mentioned this on stream. I think what I would like have in mind the most is we had a Project 60 community that we did it in Legion, I think. And if we could sort of keep that infrastructure and just move it to a server, that'd be amazing. I do think a lot of people are gonna be that would like maximally overload a server, but it might be fun. But basically, I would love to play Alliance, but I do want to play where people are playing. I do want to play with my friends and stuff like that. Having a cool community like that would be really fun. In terms of PvP and PvE, once again, I'll probably go with where people want to go. But it hurts me to say this, but I'd probably rather start on a PvE realm for a couple reasons. One, obviously, like if you get ganked and camped in vanilla, you will not play the video game. That's for one thing. And I don't necessarily want. I mean, and I'm sure it will make for some awesome world PvP where you get ganked by a bunch of people and then you call in the boys and you guys have an awesome battle. It's like, wow, that's sick. But I don't know if I'm going to want to do that like every day from like, at level 10. Like, I don't know if I really, really want to not be able to play Classic for the first time. I feel like for the first time gameplay, maybe playing through the game, leveling up, learning how the things work, and then going from there would be fun. But also, I mean, I want to play with Jenny, right? I want to play with my wife, and she doesn't really have the same, enjoyment of getting stream sniped as some people do. So if I would have a fun experience hanging out with Jenny, I don't think that we're going to be subjecting her to that. But that other thing is that if you do play on a PvE realm and you do want to throw down in some world PvP, you just say it. You say, yo, we're going to be at this place. We're going to flag for PvP. Let's throw down. And if you want to battle, then show up, PvP flag. Let's kick some butt. And that will probably be just as fun, except you don't be getting stream sniped and camped constantly because you just won't be able to play the game. And that doesn't sound like super fun. So we'll see.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, you're right. It's tough, and like you said, it might be a nice experience, at least to kind of transition into the flow of the game, the pace of the game, kind of see where
Yeah.
all the gankers are going to be coming from if you decide to reroll PvP.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah,
I'm sure you're gonna attract attention if you're like, if you're on a PvP room and you're like, yo, I've been like a week now. I need some PvP in my life. You just Stranglethorn, flag up, see who wants a piece. You know.
exactly, exactly.
Might be a lot.
Definitely. And you mentioned, rolling with other streamers, rolling with other community members. I feel like PvE servers, they could work. They could actually be really fun if you had enough people on both factions, Alliance and Horde, to kind of,
Yeah.
Stimulate and catalyze different events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I would rather play Ally, but I play Horde if I have to. I do have a Horde Warrior. I mean, I've leveled this guy every expansion. I'm working on him now. It's been taking a while. We've been busy, but I mean, this guy's got Glad titles too. So I got some Horde Warrior action going too. But I think my heart is definitely with the Alliance.
Well, we got to convert you over to the Horde then, man. Listen. Stun resist with Orcs. You've got Will of the Forsaken with Undead. It's a good time, man. It's a good time.
I know. The stun resist sounds so funny because like it's like a 25%. Is it how high of a resist is it?
25%, yeah.
Jeez, man. That is ridiculous.
It's good, dude. It's balanced.
Random.
It's like, look, perfectly balanced. Okay, perfectly balanced, of course. Yes.
That rogue's been like, oh, I've been waiting for this. Slaps you with that kidney shot. Immune. Turn around, just one shot him. Like, better luck next time, Chief.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the good thing. Think about it. Look, I want to see those PvP montages, those highlight clips.
I know. But then I'd want that. I'd be like tempted to go Tauren too, just because they're like the biggest badass pat PvP feeling stuff. But I think Orc is pretty. My Horde Warrior is Orc, so I think he'd probably go Orc too.
Absolutely. All right, we're good. We're well on the way of convincing you, hopefully, to go Horde.
Okay, all right.
No, we'll see what happens.
It doesn't take that long to level, right? I'm sure I can level an alt, right? It'll take like a couple months.
Easy, give or take. Well, that's great, man. Excited to see what you end up doing. If you go Alliance or Horde, regardless. Definitely hoping to see a lot of PvP footage coming out from you, and maybe possibly a High Warlord title or a Grand Marshal title.
Man.
Have you
Speaking of months, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Have you thought about it? Have you considered the grind to rank 14? Is it something you'd want to do?
Dude, that is a lot of World of Warcraft. It's like rank 14 is 14 hours of WoW every day for like of BGs, let alone for like 3-4 months.
Something
I remember
like
talking
that.
to Monkey News. He says it took him like 3.5 months.
Yeah.
That's a lot of grind. And consequently, we're gonna be having our little one popping out around that time, around summer of 2019 too. So
congratulations, by the way.
Thanks. So that's gonna be an interesting time for sure. So maybe if I am never gonna sleep ever, that would actually be an advantage. Just strap the little one right to my chest, a little backpack, and we'll just go to work. Maybe that's the strat. I don't know, but that's a lot of WoW. I feel like ranking up would be awesome, but I don't know if the full rank 14 is going to be something that we have time for. But we'll see. It's going to be crazy. People are going to be going ham. We're going to be having some new legends born, I think, in Classic. It'll be exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the strategy is to throw the bottle in the mouth, like you said, strap it to the chest, and just get that chest out and figure it out. But no,
that's right. Get those efficient keybinds on my Corsair Scimitar, ching, and then it's only need one hand to play. Right there you go.
There you go, dude.
Hold the bottle, and there you go, buddy.
Hashtag sponsored. All right.
That's right.
Well, all right. Rank 14 might not be feasible. Honestly, it is very difficult. But maybe something like a Kel'Thuzad kill, anything like that. Planning on raiding in Classic?
I think that raiding is like such a big important part of how you get good gear. So I imagine that we'll do some raiding, and that's probably what will happen. Is that I'll probably rank up to an extent, get some good armor. Maybe I don't know how long it takes to get like some of the lower ranks and stuff like that, like rank 10 or whatever. Is you get like some gear from that, and then maybe just raid to get weapons or raid to fill out your gear. But then again, like I feel like raiding as a warrior, people love those warrior tanks. I just don't know if I could put down the two-handed weapons, man. Right? Although you don't have a two-hander as Fury, that's right. So you have to get the little rinky-dink one-handers.
Usually, but to convince you to go Horde again, on Horde side you have Wind Fury totems, so two-handed Fury is actually pretty viable. So just another reason, No. But
what you're not telling me is you proc a Wind Fury, take aggro, and get one-shotted, right?
Hey, look, we can figure that out later. Okay. Pros only, cons later.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a little bit different, definitely. But honestly, the one thing about vanilla, like you said, times have changed. People look at it very differently than they did back in the day. It's a lot more min-maxy. But the truth is, you have 40 people in the raid. If you have it too, it's not going to matter. At the end of the day, you'll be just fine, I think.
Yeah, I think it'll be really fun. I would love to have it set up like that,
Mhm.
where my character is mostly into PvP and you just get loot from raiding. I can think of one thing. Remember that question that you told me before that I wish that this is gonna annoy me about Classic? That dang respec cost is gonna be brutal if you actually have to respec from like Arms to Fury constantly. Holy moly. Costs like 50 gold per after a while, right?
Yep, every single time.
God, 50 gold is like a mansion's worth of gold back in vanilla, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just, especially as a warrior, like it's a grind. Definitely the first alt I'll be rolling as a mage just to be able to keep up those respec switches. Yeah, it's tough.
Do some AoE farming as a mage. Is that what that is?
Yeah, absolutely. Get into Maradon, start grinding her dire maul something,
that's the strat. I gotta learn this stuff, dude.
Exactly. We'll talk definitely. I'll fill in all the details,
See that's where I need the little one to start, getting that manual dexterity going so you can go get dad some gold.
There
you know what I mean?
There you go. Put him to work, dude. Put him to work.
That's right.
Well, it's great to hear that you're going to be raiding. Definitely a very bright future for Classic, and hopefully for you and your family as well, and the little one hopefully next year. And hopefully beyond Classic too. And I think that's something. It's very interesting. Like this new conversation has kind of opened up, especially with Blizzard approving Classic. What comes after that? I mean, possibility of TBC, possibility of Wrath. Does it go beyond? Does it go all the way up to BFA? 5 years, 10 years from now, who knows? What do you think about that? Do you think it's possible to see a TBC Classic, a Wrath Classic, and is that something you'd like to see?
I think that'd be so cool because I started in Cata, so they're like, oh man, vanilla was the best, or oh BC was the absolute greatest that WoW's ever been. Like Wrath was my jam. Like I hear this all the time. And I'm like, I mean, I've seen the videos, like, so I have an idea, but being able to actually play it would be really, really cool. I think that's like one of the things that people talked about when this sort of should we do Classic Realms discussion was sort of like so vibrant. It was like WoW has content forever if it wants to.
Yeah.
So I feel like if Classic does as well as like a lot of people think it's going to do, and it provides cool content for probably like a couple years, I would imagine at least.
Mm-hmm.
I think that rolling through some of the other older expansions would be really cool.
Absolutely.
I know Jenny loved like TBC because that was kind of one of her first kind of like when she really got into WoW. And then Wrath was apparently her heyday. She was like rating on all the difficulties, like alts going through and everything. So that'd be really cool for her to experience that too, and me. I mean, I might be having to get me a hold of one of them Shadow Morns or something like that, right?
Hell yeah, dude. Klinda 7, we see a Bajheera 7 instead, yeah.
The Klinda's my boy, dude. That's what I think really got me to start making videos. Like if I can make videos that make other people feel like his montage has made me feel without even playing WoW, like that is something that's worth doing. That got me hyped up, even as not even a WoW player. I was like, this dude is just mowing people down and just kicking ass at what he does, and that got me hyped up. So that's my boy. Shout outs.
Hell yeah. And you've absolutely done that, Bajheera. Your montages are fantastic. Everything you've done since then, your bodybuilding, it's very, very inspiring. And no, dude, absolutely. Anytime. And definitely wish you and your family a great and vibrant future. And hopefully we'll see you come Classic WoW on the horse side, maybe. But we'll see. But thank you so much, Bajheera, for joining me today. I really, really appreciate it, man. Guys, if you'd like to check out Bajheera, you can check him out on Twitch at twitch.tv/Bajheera, or you can check him out on YouTube, as well as bodybuilding.com. All the links will be provided in the description for you, as well as underneath this panel, as you guys can see here. But Baj, before we go, man, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Any shout outs? Anybody you want to say hi to?
Well, just big thanks to you for letting me come in here and ramble away at, games and gains, but it is a lot of fun to hang out. And it's good to be able to sort of chill and chat with you. Big fan of your stuff for a while now. Cause once we heard the Classic announcement, I had to go check out some of my Classic peeps. So I'm really happy to be here and glad to be able to chat it up, and definitely very, very excited for the future of Classic and everything we got going on, man. It's good stuff.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. And I do want to give one shout out to your Games and Gains t-shirts. They're absolutely awesome. Really recommend them, guys. I'll leave a link for those as well. Really, really cool concept. But yeah, thanks again, Baj. I'll see you guys soon in the next episode. And as always, tips out, baby. Take care.